It was a rainy Monday morning in the town of Brooksville. People hurried under umbrellas and rushed to their destinations. In the middle of the busy street, a boy named Ethan sat on the cold steps of a bakery. His clothes damp, his arms wrapped around a thin backpack. He was 14 and alone. Ethan had been living on the streets for 2 months. His mother had passed away, and his father had disappeared years ago. No one in town knew much about him, and many people walked by without even noticing. But that morning, something different happened. A woman in a yellow coat paused in front of him. She had short curly hair and gentle eyes. "Are you okay?" she asked. Ethan looked up, surprised. No one had asked him that in weeks. "I'm fine," he mumbled, although he clearly wasn't. The woman smiled. "My name is Mrs. Carter. Come inside. You're soaked." Ethan hesitated, but something in her voice felt safe. He stood up slowly and followed her inside the warm bakery. Inside, the smell of fresh bread filled the air. The bakery was quiet, with only a few customers. Mrs. Carter worked there as the manager. She gave Ethan a seat near the counter and handed him a towel and a cup of hot cocoa. "You look like you haven't eaten," she said softly. She handed him a warm loaf of bread, still fresh from the oven. Ethan nodded gratefully and began to eat. He didn't say much, but he felt something shift inside. A sense of safety. A feeling he hadn't felt in a long time. When he finished, he said quietly, "Thank you." Mrs. Carter smiled. "Sometimes a little kindness can go a long way." Ethan would remember those words for years to come. Mrs. Carter didn't ask too many questions that day. But the next morning, when Ethan returned to the bakery and sat quietly outside, she opened the door and said, "You're early." He looked up. "I didn't know where else to go." She nodded. "If you're willing to help out, I could use a hand around here." "Nothing big." Just cleaning tables, stacking boxes, and helping after hours. Ethan's eyes widened. You mean a job? Yes. I'll pay you a little. And there's extra bread at the end of the day. He smiled for the first time in weeks. I'll work hard. I promise. At first, Ethan worked quietly. He didn't speak much. He cleaned, swept, and helped close the bakery. Every evening, he took some bread and went back to the place he slept. A corner behind the library. Mrs. Carter didn't push him to talk, but she always greeted him with a kind smile. Over time, Ethan started to open up. He told her about his mother, how they used to bake together, how she always said kindness mattered more than money. Mrs. Carter listened. She never judged. She just nodded and offered him hot cocoa on cold days. One afternoon, a man came into the bakery while Ethan was cleaning. The man wore a business suit and looked important. I heard there's a boy working here who needs help, the man said. Mrs. Carter nodded. That's Ethan. He's honest and hardworking. The man introduced himself as Mr. Green. He ran a local charity that helped children without homes. Ethan watched nervously as the two adults spoke. After a while, Mr. Green turned to him. We have a shelter with beds, showers, and meals. You'd have your own space. Would you like to come? Ethan looked at Mrs. Carter. Unsure. She said, It's your choice. But I think this could be good for you. That night, Ethan moved into the shelter. It wasn't fancy, but it was clean and safe. He had his own bed, warm meals, and friendly faces. But he still returned to the bakery every day after school. He now went to classes, wore clean clothes, and carried a small notebook where he wrote about the things he was learning. Mrs. Carter noticed a change in him. He smiled more. He made jokes. He began to dream again. I want to own a bakery someday, he told her one evening. She laughed. Then you'd better start practicing. Mrs. Carter began teaching Ethan how to bake. Every Friday, after closing time, they stayed in the kitchen and made something new. Cinnamon rolls, chocolate chip cookies, even banana bread. Ethan loved those moments. Flour on his hands, laughter in the air, and hope in his heart. He even created his own recipe. Ethan's honey buns. Soft rolls with a sweet honey glaze. They became popular with the customers. And soon, Mrs. Carter added them to the menu. You're officially part of this place now, she told him. He beamed. Maybe one day I'll open a shop and sell just these. Years passed. Ethan grew taller, more confident, and full of ideas. He started sharing his baking journey on a small YouTube channel, where he not only taught simple recipes, but also told stories from his life about kindness, hope, and learning English through real experiences. One of his videos titled, "How Kindness Changed My Life," went viral. In it, he shared how a woman in a yellow coat changed everything for him by offering a loaf of bread and a kind word. Viewers around the world commented, "This made me cry. Thank you for sharing. Now I understand the meaning of kindness. Your English is clear and easy to follow." Subscribe. Ethan didn't forget where he came from. He returned to the shelter often to volunteer, help younger boys, and bring boxes of fresh bread. He also started a small program called Bake and Learn, where children could learn English while baking simple recipes. Kindness taught me everything, he said during a community event. Now I want to pass it on. Mrs. Carter, now older and retired, sat in the front row, smiling with pride. You changed, Ethan, she whispered. He shook his head. You changed me. With kindness. On the 10th anniversary of working at the bakery, Ethan opened his own bakery. At the grand opening, he placed a sign on the wall that read, "Kindness is free, but it can change a life forever." He served free bread to anyone in need and always had a jar labeled, "Pay what you can." When someone asked him why he did it, he simply said, "Because one woman gave me a chance when no one else did." If this story touched your heart and helped you practice English, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Tales Fluency. We post inspiring stories that teach English and life lessons every day. Vocabulary highlights: kindness, being nice and helpful to others. Shelter, a safe place where people without homes can stay. Loaf, a whole piece of bread before it's cut into slices. Manager, a person in charge of a place or business. Volunteer, to do something without getting paid. Usually to help others. Retired, someone who has stopped working because of age. Charity, an organization that helps people in need. Dream, something you hope to do or become one day. Grateful, feeling thankful for something good. Inspire, to make someone feel like they can do something good or important.